Greetings from Kardec Radio, where we are bringing listeners another audiobook, this one entitled Who is Afraid of Death, written by Richard Simonetti. This 17th installment covers Chapter 32 entitled Roots of Stability and Chapter 33 entitled Return Jewels. Enjoy. Chapter 32, Roots of Stability. According to research carried out by the magazine Psychology Today, the thing people fear the most is the death of a beloved person. Many people simply refuse to think about it, even in relation to older family members. As regards kids, forget about it. There is a human tendency of setting the roots of emotional stability in terms of endearment, especially towards family members. We feel safer this way, willing to face the hardships of existence. The problem, though, is that at the death of someone very close to a person's heart, they lose balance as if the ground had been removed from under their feet, leaving them with a crisis of despair. For a long time, they feel emotionally mutilated, with no support, no courage, and no will to live. To avoid such problem, we have to learn how to cope with death, accepting it as an evolutionary experience typical of the world in which we live, and that most probably before it comes after us, it might take someone we love within a few years or within a few days. We should always be prepared, that is, thinking about the possibility without morbidity or pessimism, but exercising our capacity of being realistic. We are not saying that we should be rationally cold, reducing our affections to mere pieces of a game that we agree to lose during the game of destiny, but we should seek the understanding of life's mechanisms so that we do not feel useless, as if there were no more reasons to live because we have lost a beloved person, arrival and departure, company and loneliness, union and separation, life and death. These are all existential antitheses that keep on being repeated throughout the centuries, shaping our personality in the dynamics of evolution according to the wise and just divine will. Therefore, to our own benefit, it is mandatory that we set other emotional roots, starting with our effort to comply with the purposes of our earthly journey. Living with beloved ones is important, but it represents only one of the motivations that we must have in life. There are others, immediate and essential: our moral and intellectual improvement, the effort for self-renewal, active social participation through good deeds, and nurturing spiritual values. Similar initiatives light in our hearts the divine flame of ideals that light the ways, offering us comfort and safety in all situations. When we have an ideal, assuming our responsibility as children of God, created to His image, developing our creative potentials, we become more capable of loving, we have better relationships with family members, we tighten the bonds of affinity, but detachment will mark our affective feelings, making us capable of keeping balance and tranquility when death comes after someone of our intimate circle. Chapter 33, Returned Jewels. There is a key word that helps us face the death of a loved one with serenity and balance: submission. It expresses our willingness to accept what is inevitable, considering that the sovereign will of God prevails above human will, who offers us the experience of death in favor of the improvement of our lives. About this topic, it is appropriate to remember an ancient Oriental story about a rabbi, Jewish religious preacher, who led a very happy life with his virtuous wife and two admirable sons, intelligent and diligent boys, loving and disciplined. Due to his activities, he once had to be absent from home for many days, embarking on a long journey. In the meantime, a serious accident caused the death of the two boys. We can imagine the suffering of that mother. Nevertheless, she was a strong woman. Comforted by her faith and unshakable trust in God, she bravely bore the strain. Her greatest worry was about the husband. How would she tell him what had happened? She was afraid that a strong commotion would have fatal consequences because he had a cardiac insufficiency. She prayed a lot, pleading for inspiration from heaven. The Lord did not leave her without an answer. A few days later, the rabbi returned home. He arrived in the afternoon after a long trip, but he was happy. He tenderly embraced his wife and soon asked about the boys. "Do not worry, my dear. They will come later. Bathe yourself while I prepare something for you to eat." A while later, at the table, they were talking about everyday events in those typical moments of a loving couple after a brief separation. "How about the boys? They are taking too long. Forget about them. I need your help to solve a serious problem." "What's the matter?" "I have noticed that you are depressed. Tell me. We will find a solution together, inspired by God." When you traveled, a friend of ours came to me and asked me to take care of 2 pieces of jewelry of incalculable value. They are extremely precious. I had never seen anything like that, and the problem is that he is coming to pick them up, and I am not willing to give them back. "What has gotten into you, darling? You are not being yourself. You have never nurtured frailties." "That's because I had never seen such jewelry. They are divine, wonderful, but they do not belong to you. I cannot bear the thought of losing them." "Nobody loses something one does not have. To keep them would be the same as stealing." "Help me." "Of course I will. We will go together to give them back today." "Well, my dear, thy will be done. The treasure will be returned. In fact, it already has. The pieces of jewelry were our sons. God, who trusted them to us as a loan, has come to fetch them." The rabbi understood the message, and, although experiencing the anguish that such separation imposed upon him, he overcame any strong reaction capable of causing him harm. Husband and wife embraced each other, very touched, mixing the tears that slowly rolled down their faces without words of revolt or despair, and in one voice they repeated Job's sacred words, "The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord."